Most of what we desire in life can be split between two categories: what makes us comfortable and what makes us excited. But can being comfortable and being excited really bring us what we seek? Or does it bring us more suffering than we began with? Well, today we find out. I have so many questions. I'm afraid. What's the point? What is true? Is there a way straight? How can I know the truth? Welcome back, everyone, to An Ordinary Search for Truth and to part 5 of my video series, What is Reality? Awareness and Its Activity. My name is Nate, and today we're going to be talking about the polarization of desire. In part 4, we discussed how desire is the belief that you, as a separate self, can add things to yourself or to your identity. This could be possessions and objects, people and relationships, traits and status, any of these things. And you believe that these things will help you feel more complete, fulfilled, loved, and at peace. If you haven't watched that yet, then definitely click the banner above because we're going to be building off of that video today. If you're just joining the discussion in this video series, I highly recommend that you go back and watch the entire playlist from the beginning. That'll give you a lot more context and understanding as to what exactly I'm talking about and how it fits in with everything else. If you're all caught up, then let's get right into it. Desire is a massively motivating force in our lives, driving us to do, seek, and accomplish a diverse assortment of things. You can look at desire as a force within us that drives us toward the positive side of experience. As I examined the force of desire within my own life and within the lives of other people that I know, I realized that the desire for any positive experience that we seek is divided between two different polarizations. These are the desire for the experience of excitement and the desire for the experience of comfort. Everything we seek is, at root, always an experience. Even the desire for an object is not the desire for the object itself, but for the experience of that object. Every interaction between us and the apparently objective world is always experiential. We just can't get around it. So, within the variety of experience that flows through us as awareness, desire motivates us to seek within that flow what will bring us an experience of excitement or the addition of a positive stimulus, and what will bring us an experience of comfort or the experience of the absence of any negative stimulus. These could be seen as the two ends of the positive experience spectrum. First, we're going to look at the desire for excitement in our direct experience and see what kind of role it plays in our lives. So go ahead and take a moment to look at your memories of today or yesterday's experience. Did you have any experiences that were exciting or positively stimulating? This could be anything from enjoying a tasty meal, uh, doing a fun recreational activity, interaction with friends or loved ones, a sexual encounter perhaps, anything that brought you the experience of excitement or exceptional happiness. Sometimes even thinking back on these memories can bring back a little bit of the excitement that we felt then. Now try to recognize whether there was the presence of desire right before or in anticipation of this experience. If so, can you see how the desire for this positively stimulating experience motivated you to seek, acquire, or unite with it? Now become aware of the present moment, right here, right now. Are you currently feeling any desire, even very subtly, for some sort of excitement? If you're already excited just watching this video, then I'm flattered, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it. But if not, then what other experience might you be desiring to have right now instead of this one? Is there anything else you'd rather do? Anywhere else you'd rather be? That you imagine would be more exciting than what's happening right here, right now? For example, even within me, I can see the desire to go get a tasty snack, to maybe play some video games, maybe watch a exciting show. Now, try not to label these desires as good or bad. Just become aware of them and allow them to be. Just sit with them. Feel what the energy of desire actually feels like inside of you. Feel it right now in the present moment. Awesome. Well done. These exercises are so incredibly important because by becoming present, you're broadening and deepening your awareness of your inner space. If you can consciously and clearly recognize the feeling of desire as it's happening right now, then when it arises in your experience later on, it'll kind of trigger this remembrance and you'll be like, "Oh, I remember that's kind of what desire feels like." And then when you recognize your desires as they happen, you'll be more capable to respond to them in the way that you want to, rather than automatically doing whatever this desire is motivating you to do, which can sometimes cause you suffering. Desires that remain unchecked and unconscious are definitely candidates for creating great suffering within your life. The desire for excitement, in particular, has the potential to bring you a great deal of suffering. And this is because excitement is almost like a very short-lived high, you might say, that can become quite addicting and lead to really damaging habits and behaviors. There are, of course, extremes to this desire for excitement, and this could be the addiction to drugs and other substances, sexual addiction, eating disorders. All of these things are symptoms of a desire for excitement that has gotten completely out of control. For most of us, I hope, the desire for excitement really influences our life in a much more subtle way, but nonetheless can still bring a degree of suffering to our experience. We suffer from this desire because it's very much what might be considered a peak experience, or as I mentioned before, a kind of experiential high that we feel. When we're experiencing them, when we're in these states of excitement, we often feel completely fulfilled, accepted, loved, and complete. All of these feelings we label as good or desirable. And then we attach these feelings to the experience itself and believe that this experience is what is responsible for these feelings coming to be within us. Because of this, a cycle of desire might begin, where we experience the excitement and the good feelings and that high, and after the experience ends, or after we come down from it, we're left believing that the enjoyable, exciting state that we were in is where we wish we could be all the time. And this particular experience is able to provide this to us. So we can easily become wrapped up in the desire to experience it again and again, and prolong the experience, to experience it more and more often. This could very well throw our life completely out of balance, and we could end up spending a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to get this experience and hold on to it. And in a worst case scenario, it could lead us into extremely addictive habits and behaviors. The reason this desire for excitement never truly brings us the lasting experience of fulfillment and peace, happiness, love, whatever it is that we're seeking, it's because we believe that these feelings or these inner states are separate from us and must be sought after in our external experience. Not only this, but we believe that these feelings or inner states are the only ones worth having, which can create a very strong resistance within us to any state that is the opposite of or anything less than these peak states. External experience is always changing by nature. There's nothing that is constant, lasting, or unchanging in what we consider to be the outside world. Only our very self, our foundational innate beingness, only that is truly unchanging and ever present. So if that's what you're looking for, you can only find it within yourself. Searching for it in the flow of changing experience will always leave you disappointed, frustrated, and discontent. Now let's move on to the desire for comfort, which is similar in some ways to the desire for excitement because it is still a desire, but perhaps it's a bit subtler of a desire, although the way in which it affects the way that we live could be potentially more potent. The desire for comfort is the desire for a kind of positively charged neutral state, where excitement is extremely positively charged. It's very stimulating. Comfort is more so just the lack of any negative stimulus. As I mentioned earlier, we typically desire any state that is considered to be on the positive side of the spectrum of experience. And you could look at excitement as being on the higher or highest side of the spectrum, whereas comfort is on the lower or lowest side of the positive spectrum. We don't necessarily feel better than usual, but we don't feel anything that we could consider to be negative, which leaves us feeling comfortable. In this day and age, the desire for comfort plays an extremely active role in how we live our lives. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at our own personal experience. See if you can see what I'm talking about. Take a moment again to look at today or yesterday's memories. Did you have any experience where you felt really comfortable, nice and cozy? This could be anything from relaxing on your couch, watching a show, taking a nap, listening to some music, scrolling through Facebook on your phone, petting your dog, maybe if you have a dog. Any of these things could provide you with this feeling of comfort. I'm sure it's not a hard feeling to remember. We live very comfortable lives. Of course, some of these activities that I mentioned could start pulling you into a more excitable state. But I'm talking about when you don't feel incredibly stimulated, but still good, still relaxed. Now try to recognize if there was the experience of desire right before this experience of comfort. Can you see how this desire motivated you to seek out, to acquire, to have this experience of comfort? Maybe you had a really hard, rough day at work and you didn't want to come home and have a really stimulating experience. No. You just had the desire to relax and be comfortable, kick off your shoes, have a nice drink. Now become aware of the present moment, right here, right now. We're no longer in memory, we're right here in our present experience. Are you currently feeling any desire, even very subtly, to be comfortable, or at least more comfortable than you are right now? Hopefully, you're at least somewhat comfortable while you're watching this and that you're not out in the sweltering sun or something like that. Is there anything else you'd rather be doing or anywhere else you'd rather be that you believe would be more comfortable than right here, right now? Again, don't label these desires or judge them. Just become aware of them and sit with them. Let them be. Really feel what it feels like to desire comfort. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure you've noticed through this exercise that the desire for comfort is a lot more subtle than the desire for excitement, but it's still a very strong motivator in our life. We typically spend more time trying to maintain our comfort than just about any other state. Being comfortable is easier, it takes less energy, and it's much more sustainable than the experience of excitement. But it too can lead to suffering and damaging habitual behavior. An excessive desire for comfort can cause health problems, boredom, depression, and stunt self growth and fulfillment. The desire for comfort can hold within it a strong resistance to what one might consider any kind of negative stimulus or anything that causes discomfort. The more attached we become to seeking comfort and identifying with that state, then any experience that is uncomfortable, even a potentially good one, will bring us a proportionate degree of suffering as we resist such an experience. Because experience is constantly ebbing and flowing, trying to sustain comfort can be extremely frustrating. Once again, I'd like to remind you that I'm not presenting these desires as intrinsically positive or negative. I only hope to direct your awareness to how these desires emerge within you in your personal experience and help you become conscious of the effect that these desires have on your life. It's totally fine to be excited or be comfortable and to place yourself in situations where you feel these things. It's just as much a part of the play of awareness as anything else. If you're interested in personal or spiritual growth, then becoming aware of your desires and why you have them and the way in which you address them is a very important step to take, and I hope to help you take that step. Through this awareness, you can remove a great deal of suffering and illusion from your experience that arises when you're ignorant of what desire actually is, and when you remain unaware of how strongly attached or identified you are to fulfilling these desires. It's important to recognize that true lasting fulfillment and peace can't be found in desires or any external experience, no matter how positive or wonderful they may seem at the time. The experience will inevitably change, and while you remain identified with experiencing the content of your desires and expecting them to fulfill you completely or give you some constant positive state, you will suffer. You don't suffer from experiences. You suffer from your own misidentification and misunderstanding of who and what you are and what reality is. You are, in reality, that very fulfillment, wholeness, peace, love that you're looking for in your desires. You're like a person who's thirsty in the desert and is chasing mirages here and there, unaware of the canteen of water that is never empty, that's hanging around your neck. Awareness is all that is needed to begin to see these mirages of life for what they are and realize the truth about yourself and what you are. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked part 5, then definitely hit a like down below and be sure to subscribe so that each time one of these parts is released, you'll be notified. And feel free to comment down below. I really do love hearing from you and responding to you. Your feedback is so important to me as I progress. So thank you again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Don't worry, I've got a lot more content for you to enjoy. Click the link to the right to see a video that goes hand in hand with what you just watched. On the left is a playlist I recommend you check out. And down below, you can see my latest video release. Your support means the world to me, so thank you.